So, two things to chat about. Okay, we'll get you to the lineup later on, and we'll talk about the game tonight. Garrett Cole's on the mound against the Guardians for Game 2 in the series, and hopefully he brings the fire tonight. But I want to talk about two things really quickly: Anthony Volpe and O'Neill Cruz. Okay, Anthony Volpe, my plea to the Yankees: please give the kid a day off, and not only a day off because there's no game. Okay, and that everybody else is going to have a day off so he can sit on the bench, watch the game, observe, learn, okay, recharge his physical and his mental batteries. Because you could see he's struggling, he's reeling. Again, and it's not unexpected either. He's a rookie. Okay, a lot of these guys, okay, Julio Rodriguez and Monsoto, a lot of these guys struggled in the beginning as rookies, their first 20, 30 games. And again, it is easier said than done. But and it's also easy to say, oh, it's only been 10 games, 11 games. He needs a day off already. Yeah, he does. He needs a day off. Okay, this is a different level of play for him. And it's easy for people who don't play and don't go through stuff to say, he's a young kid, or why does people like him or DJ or other people need a day off? Because that has to be part of the program too. Recovery is just as important as playing. They need to be, have recovery spread out occasionally throughout the season in order for him to stay mentally and physically fresh. Even if he's 21 years old, that's just part of development. Again, he's a rookie. He's going through a lot of stuff. And yes, he has the backup, and support of his teammates. Yes, he does. But at the same time, I think it would be a wise idea to let the kid just sit on the bench, in the dugout, watch the game, observe, talk to Boone, talk to some of the other teammates, and see, what am I looking for here? What could I do better? What adjustments can I make, and all that stuff. So it's just, if not even more important than just having a day off because you're having a physical day off. That to me is an important part of development too. And having played baseball, having been through that too, it's definitely something that should be considered. Okay, and again, I don't work for the Yankees, I don't manage them, blah blah blah, but it's something I would be personally incorporating to players. So regular rest, and it doesn't have to be all the time, but just like Judge, Stanton, Rizzo, these guys need regular rest. You don't really see many of these guys breaking down too often in April and May. You see them breaking down in July, August, September. One of the reasons why is because they've been doing too much and they're physically breaking down. But regular rest throughout the season also allows them to play and recover at the same time. Okay, it's a simultaneous thing. And I really, really hope, if anybody in the Yankees sees this, please give Anthony Volpe a day off on occasion. Let the kid relax. They have guys here who can replace him. Okay. They have guys. And again, look how happy this kid looks right here. He's excited. He's proud to be on the national anthem, standing in for the national anthem in his uniform and all that stuff. And again, he's got this big magnetic smile, all that stuff. But he's reeling right now. He's struggling. So we want to get the kid back to footing here. And again, he'll be able to fight through certain things, but there are certain things that he might just, it might be okay to just let him relax a little bit and take a breather. And again, 10 or 11 games at the major league level is different than 10 games at Double A or whatnot. So it's a different level up here. And this is his first time playing through it. And he has not had a single day off since the season started. So, but then we have other players on the team who have had multiple days off. And again, I know people don't want that either. I get it. But if I'm Anthony, if I'm handling Anthony Volpe, I encourage them to give this kid a day off. Special kid. We want to continue building on his momentum. Last thing we want to do is have it get to his head and just have him spiral somewhere we don't want him spiraling. That's the Anthony Volpe thing. Let me know what you think in the comments. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, I hope you enjoy the content enough to do that. And if you enjoy the content as well, I hope you hit the thumbs up too. I thank you for that. Okay. But this is the type of stuff. And again, I try to bring something of value to the conversation too. Not only just doing everything everybody else does. Everybody knows that I like to be different. Okay, so if it's your first time here, expect that. Okay, expect it. Now, the other player I want to talk about is O'Neill Cruz. Those that don't know, he had that vicious collision the other day, fractured his fibula, aka he broke his leg. Okay, he's the towering shortstop for the Pittsburgh Pirates. And again, there's been chatter for a while about Yankees potentially lining up for a trade, but not necessarily for O'Neill Cruz. There was other players. Okay, at some point it was JT Brubaker, but he might be a candidate for Tommy John. So, and Brian Reynolds, obviously, it's been talked about for a year, but it doesn't look like. I mean, looks like they're trying to finalize some kind of extension to stay there, even though he's asked for like an opt out and no trade, and they don't want to give it to him. But at the end of the day, I do think he gets traded, but I do think there's a couple of teams who have a deeper pitching stockpile than the Yankees do. So that might have an advantage. So, but again, not talking about this. What can the Yankees line up with the Pirates for a trade of, let's just say IKF or something like that, to give them a shortstop that they could have there. And I mean, and they've got a kid named, I think his name's Nick Gonzalez, their number 5 prospect. There's a second baseman, a shortstop. So they could call him up. He's already in AAA. They could do that too. But I mean, what do we expect? And some folks are saying we trade IKF or trade him. Okay. But what do you expect back from IKF? I mean, how much of a prospect? You're not going to get a high level prospect back for Isaiah Kanafa. You'll get some payroll relief, sure. Okay. But if we're expecting to have a net gain here in terms of roster or production, I wouldn't expect that. Not going to trade Hicks to him. They're not going to want Hicks. What the hell are they going to want Hicks for? So, and obviously they're not going to trade Donaldson to him either. So the only possible person, with the exception of Gleyber Torres, who not many people want to trade him, is going to be IKF. But if you want something of value back, then Torres is the person to move, whether it be the Pirates or somebody else. So do we line up with a trade with the Pirates or for a trade with the Pirates? Yeah, but does it make sense? Not really, unless you're trading Gleyber Torres. But again, what are you going to trade Torres for? If they're not going to trade Reynolds, what the hell's the point? So, and again, I'm not going to trade Oswald Peraza there. For what? What are you going to get back for him? So Henry Davis, the catching prospect, I doubt that would happen. So who's like their number 2 or number 3 prospect, who was, I think, the number 1 or number 2 pick in a draft a year or 2 ago. So I doubt it. So it doesn't really make sense to line up for a trade with the Pirates right now, does it? So, but I want to know what you think about that too. Okay, and this is why I like to elevate the conversation and have talks like this, because it just propels our thought in a lot of different areas. And I want folks to know as much information as possible so you can make informed decisions. So, but these are 2 topics that are, I think, good foods for thought, especially Anthony Volpe. What do we think? A lot of folks are calling for him to be called down, calling him a bust. They're worrying about him. Again, it's early in the season, and a day off here and a day off there would not do him any harm. Would not do him any harm. So, and again, sitting back and just observing, that's good development too. Again, he could talk about with some of his teammates and what to look for, what to do, and so on and so forth. So, not a bad thing. Not a bad thing. So, again, I want to know what your thoughts are, folks. So let's get into this. Have a good day, and I'll see you a little later with the lineups.